Hello, and thank you for joining us for the Park Beat. I am Chief Doreen Thomas, and I began my career with Pinellas Park in 1980. Since that time, there have been vast changes in the way we conduct policing for our citizens. Back in 1915, Pinellas Park was primarily sugarcane fields. During that era, the town marshal was appointed as the chief of police and was the only officer for the city. As the years progressed, so did policing. More officers were needed to handle the growing population of the city. Dirt roads became paved roads. Horse and carriage became automobiles, and the population of 250 grew to over 49,000. In the next 30 minutes, you will see the day-to-day operations of your police department, and you will hear from some of our current and past employees who have provided such a wonderful history for this agency. I hope you enjoy this insight into your agency a century after it began. I'm so excited that you'll be joining us. Happy birthday, Pinellas Park. Enjoy the Park Beat.
By 1915, the police department was formally organized and the town marshal was appointed as the first chief of police. He was also the only police officer in the department. By the 1930s, there were 2 employees who alternately shared a $15 per week salary. For this, they performed numerous non-police jobs in addition to their police duties. By 1948, the department was reorganized and inaugurated during the 4th of July celebration. There were now 6 officers to include the chief of police. In 1958, there were 11 employees, including the first female to work for the police department. In 1965, there were 20 officers, including 2 full-time detectives. The patrol section is just one of the components of the operations division. This section comprises the largest segment of our agency. Uniformed police officers and their marked police cruisers are the most visible segment of the department. They are the first departmental component encountered by the public and frequently the only police personnel that is ever seen. The patrol section operates on a 4-day work schedule consisting of 10-hour days.
My name is Ken Blessing. I just recently retired from Pinellas Park after 25 years. We were just starting with doing the computerized report, the laptops. In fact, we used the old Tandy computers back then. We were doing handwritten reports, and everything's evolved now that everything is done basically online with your laptop, and you really got to know what you're doing as far as technology goes. It's a good place to work. I enjoy working there. I think if you go there, you have a lot of opportunities, whether you want to be a detective like I was, or you want to get into vice, or you want to get into other positions.
Assigned to Special Operations is the Police Canine Unit. Imported from Germany, Hungary, and the Netherlands, the working canines are paired with a handler and sent to a 17-week canine school. Upon graduation, the canine team is assigned to assist the patrol division with calls for service that include burglary, robbery, and other in-progress crimes, or a crime where a subject has fled the scene on foot. Here's an example of the other duties of the police canine, and that is narcotics detection. Here, Officer Weaver and his canine partner Tank are looking for illicit narcotics contained within this vehicle. Also within the Special Operations Division is our Mounted Patrol. The personnel for the Mounted Patrol unit come from both the sworn personnel ranks as well as community volunteers. The volunteers from the community provide their own horse as well as their time that is dedicated to training. They do this to be a much more visible presence within our community. The Pinellas Park Police Department Traffic Enforcement Unit consists of crash investigators and DUI investigators. The SRO is placed within the educational environment and is involved in a variety of functions, mostly aimed at the prevention and education of our youths. The school resource officers review all cases involving students and help determine the best course of action to prevent undesirable action from reoccurring. The Criminal Investigations Section falls under the command of the Investigation Services Commander. They are responsible for conducting secondary investigations for felony crimes committed in Pinellas Park. Cases are assigned to detectives based on solvability factors and the seriousness of the offense. The unit is comprised of 1 sergeant, 6 detectives, and 1 administrative clerk. The section is divided into 2 units: crimes against persons, which include robberies, homicides, and sex crimes, and crimes against property, which include burglaries, grand thefts, economic crimes, and fraud.
In 26 years with the agency since 1989, I'd say the biggest transformation that I've seen, or the biggest emphasis that's been placed on us, has been from police officer to social worker to now good or superior customer service. In 2000, when Chief Doreen Thomas took over, she made a cultural change where we made a strong emphasis on superior customer service. And since then, we've integrated that into our training and our new recruits, emphasizing the need and the importance of providing our customers, our community, superior customer service. I think our homeless outreach is a great example of that, where we're reuniting folks that are down here and due to circumstance need to be reunited with those folks or be realigned with resources, and it's good customer service.
The Community Redevelopment Policing Unit is a unique component of the Investigations Division. This unit consists of 2 support staff members comprised of volunteers, 5 sworn officers, 1 corporal, and 1 sergeant. The sergeant is responsible for the day-to-day operations, to include the implementation of strategic problem solving, as well as influencing negative perceptions that exist in the community through partnerships, and to ensure that officers are working with the community to deter and solve problems.
Left, 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 right. Column right.
The Pinellas Park Police Department Honor Guard was originally established to provide honors for officers killed in the line of duty. It is now recognized as the department's official ceremonial unit. Multifaceted, the unit is capable of performing routine duties such as traditional honor guard functions, as well as coordinating and performing the intricate details inherent to military-style funerals. The Honor Guard is consistently asked to provide a wide range of ceremonial functions at department, city, and civic events. Many of our members have prior military service. Military service is not a requirement. When our police officers need help, they call the SWAT team, Special Weapons and Tactics. The department maintains a Special Weapons and Tactics Team, or SWAT, which is a specially trained unit equipped to respond to high-risk situations. Its main purpose is the protection of citizens and police personnel. They deal with hostage situations, armed and barricaded subjects, snipers, crowd disturbances, and VIP protection. The goal of the SWAT team is to conduct a successful operation in which responding personnel refrain from using deadly force. This is not to be construed as reluctance to use deadly force, but to display the ultimate purpose and goal of the SWAT team, which is to conduct every operation with the utmost regard for human life. In this effort, the SWAT team will utilize tactical abilities to perform its mission.
Paul Andrews, retired as a police lieutenant from the city of Pinellas Park in 2012. Served 27 years with the agency, starting as a dispatcher, community service officer, and then police officer. I mean, technology has influenced it tremendously. We worked for a department that was a little over 30 officers when I started and over 100 when I left. So the sheer amount of manpower or personnel that we increased, and then the technology that made that job so much easier over time.
I think the biggest change has been technology. When I started, even on my gun belt, I had 3 things. I had a gun, I had ammunition, and I had handcuffs. That's the only thing I had, that and a gun belt. And they didn't even supply you with a flashlight in those days, and nobody carried walkies at the time. We only had radios in the car. So I think the biggest change has been the technology that we have today, whether it's the technology that's in the car, with the laptops and the available use of the internet, cell phones, you name it. We didn't have any of that, so the only thing we did back then was we handled calls and we hand wrote police reports. I think that's foreign to most people today to have to handwrite anything, but in 1983, we turned in police reports that were all handwritten, regardless of what they were. And if they were really important, you sat down and you typed them. And I think that's the big change, is that today we have so much more technology in every part of what we do, whether it's accident investigation or criminal investigation or whatever field, whatever area of the police department. We just use tons and tons more technology than we used to.
My name is Mark Berger, and I began my police career with the Pinellas Park Police Department on August 10th, 1988, and I worked for the Pinellas Park Police Department for the past 26 years. I'm currently the captain, and I have command of the Services Division of the Police Department. And the Services Division consists of the Records Section, the Communications Section, and Special Services. And Special Services can be further narrowed down to include the Training Division, Crime Prevention, Youth Services, and Professional Standards. I started with the Police Department. A term that I would use would be, I would call it old school. And we didn't have laptops or computers in our cars. Everything was handwritten police reports on an offense incident report. So we would turn those reports in, a handwritten report, and it would be reviewed by our supervisors. Manually, they would look through them, and if there were errors, they would correct the errors and give them back. And we'd actually have to either use whiteout or correct the police report so that we could turn it back in for review. Today, I would say that we are at the cutting edge of technology with the Pinellas Park Police Department. We have a state-of-the-art computer systems, New World systems, and we have a mobile data system in the car that is state-of-the-art. Our computer-aided dispatch is able to track the units out on the road to determine who would be the closest backup to send to an officer that may need a backup. And our records management system is working towards being totally paperless.
The Pinellas Park Police Department's Records Division consists of 4 full-time civilian administrative clerks and 2 part-time civilian administrative clerks. These clerks are responsible for the accuracy, processing, and maintenance of all reports, documents, and citations produced by police officers and police detectives. In addition, the records clerks are responsible for mail delivery in the station, front counter contacts, report filing, and data entry. Records personnel are also responsible for making copies and disseminating reports to the public and insurance companies pursuant to Florida's public records laws. New World Systems law enforcement solutions make it easy for dispatchers, officers, and command staff to access the vast amount of mission-critical data that is generated every day. The effortless reporting, seamless integration, and advanced workflow between communications, records management, and mobile means more actionable intelligence is made available and decision-making is vastly improved. These solutions have proven to increase the communication and interoperability of our solutions.
Hello, I'm Clyde Walters, Communications Supervisor, Pinellas Park Police Department. I've been here for 18 years, yet I've been dispatching for over 32 years. The Communications Center is the nucleus of our department and departments all over. Everything that police officers respond to, or when a citizen calls the police department, a dispatcher is involved. Throughout the years, technology has evolved tremendously. Before today's technology, when a citizen would call the police department and request an officer, the dispatcher would have to notify the officers by activating a light that was atop a pole in the center of town. On the bottom of that pole was a call box, which would allow the officer to then pick up the phone and the dispatcher would tell them where the call was going to be at. In the 1930s, mobile radio communications was developed. Patrol cars were equipped with a two-way, simplistic, two-channel radio. Dispatchers could now talk directly to the officers, as well as officers could now communicate with each other. In 1968, 911 was developed in Haleyville, Alabama. This now would give citizens all over a common phone number to call for no matter where they were. 911 would also give the dispatcher the phone number where the call was being made from. However, this was not well received at first. It wasn't until the 80s, when enhanced 911 was introduced, where the dispatchers received the address as well. By this time, 911 was a reality in mainstream America. Dispatchers had to write the calls down on dispatch cards and keep a handwritten radio log of all radio transmissions. In the 1990s, cell phones became more and more prevalent. That created new problems for 911 and caller locations and phone numbers. New technology had to be developed to give dispatchers this information. Today, everything from radio to telephone is either computerized, digitized, or both. With today's technology, instead of writing everything down, dispatchers use a computer-aided dispatch system, commonly referred to as CAD. This allows dispatchers to input calls for service and communicate with officers without even using a radio. Police radios are now equipped with over 140 channels. Telephones that the dispatcher uses is now a computer, and he must now monitor 5 and 6 computer screens and numerous radio channels. However, even though technology continues to evolve and enhance our daily lives, the dispatcher will still be the nucleus of the department.
The training section is responsible for all the training needs of nearly 150 full and part-time employees. The training section is staffed by a full-time police officer who is dedicated to this task. The responsibilities of the training section are tremendous. The section is responsible for ensuring that all of our police officers earn and maintain their state certifications as mandated by the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement also mandates certain training classes that all sworn law enforcement officers must take within a period of time in order to maintain their certifications. The training section tracks these classes and ensures that our employees attend when required. In addition, the training section identifies advanced training opportunities around the country that may benefit the City of Pinellas Park. Once an officer is approved for a training class, the training section makes all the necessary arrangements to ensure that the employee attends. When training needs and goals are identified, the training section coordinates the implementation of the desired curriculum. In-house training is often used to meet these objectives. The Pinellas Park Police Department presently has several in-house instructors with expertise in a multitude of subjects. Requiring our officers to participate in real-life training scenarios is a great way to promote an adaptive culture, helping disseminate knowledge, experience, and hard-won lessons throughout the organization, and encouraging the faster and more effective decision-making and actions that we aim to deliver to our cops on the street. Here's an example of our officers participating in realistic-based training. One of the goals of our training section is to expose the officers to real-world situations in the environments that they will be working in. The officers are wearing protective equipment due to the potential exposure from simunition rounds, which brings physical and psychological realism to the training scenario. One of the many tools at the disposal of our officers is the taser. The taser is a less lethal option for our officers to control and subdue combative subjects while limiting our need to be involved in a physical confrontation. Our officers are trained to use the tools provided while remaining aware that other less lethal options may be required. All police officers are required to qualify annually with their agency-issued firearms. This is a requirement that is mandated by the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. Our training department goes beyond the requirements set by the state and require each officer to participate in daytime, nighttime, as well as inclement weather environments, in addition to our officers participating in scenario-based training that includes teaching them how to shoot while they're moving.
Police officer, police officer. All right, good, holster.
The Youth Services section is responsible for a variety of assignments involving the youth of Pinellas Park. The 2 full-time detectives assigned to this section are responsible for teaching the drug awareness resistance education curriculum at all 5 of the city's public elementary schools and several private schools. In addition to their teaching responsibilities, the Youth Services section is also tasked with conducting investigations on missing and and runaway youths, as well as tracking juvenile gang activity. The detectives and youth services are the go-to officers for all matters pertaining to youth crime in our city. The Youth Services section works with other law enforcement agencies to conduct random checks on juveniles who have been committed to probation programs as ordered by the courts. The Pinellas Park Police Explorer Post number 912 is chartered through the Boy Scouts of America. The Explorers are a service-oriented group who coordinate many activities in the community, as well as assist with various cities' events. The group consists of 30 high school-age young adults who have an interest in law enforcement as a future career. Participation in the Explorer program is voluntary, and members agree to adhere by all of the rules of the program. The purpose of Exploring is for young adults to help their communities while learning about law enforcement. This post is also affiliated with the National Volunteers in Policing Service and has 30 active members. The Office of Professional Standards is under the authority of the Services Division Commander, Captain Mark Berger. The officer assigned to this position is the coordinator of police recruitment, secondary employment, the Citizens Police Academy, and any additional duties as assigned by the Chief of Police. Here is Officer Kriebel working one of those details right now. Additional responsibilities of the Office of Professional Standards include the updating of department directives and standard operating procedures, coordinating staff inspections, the preparation of department recognition awards, organization of the Citizens Police Academy that is held twice per year, completing research and reports on special projects and programs, and interviewing and screening potential police applicants. The Crime Prevention Unit is responsible for obtaining and correlating information and services or products relating to crime prevention from various resources.
My name is Tina Trey, and I am a retired sergeant with the Pinellas Park Police Department. I started in 1986 in law enforcement at Pinellas Park, and then in 1988 I went into the police academy. And from there, I proceeded to work many different fields, got promoted, and retired in 2012. When I first started in policing for females, it was a lot different. Females were basically arrives on scene to help out with situations as a calming effect. It's a lot different now. When I started, there was only 2 other females, a sergeant and a detective. And currently the sergeant at the time is now the police chief of Pinellas Park, Doreen Thomas, and I'm proud to have worked with her for many, many years. She was a great influence on my career.
My name is Officer Onyx Ortiz. Been here roughly 9 months. Again, it's more of a family atmosphere, and for individuals that are new at this profession, it's a very comforting feeling.
Copy 639.
Brotherhood.
The Pinellas Park Police Department has a long and rich history that has seen advancements in investigative techniques, equipment, and technology. We're excited to continue that long and rich tradition, to leverage all of these tools to better deliver services to our citizens. I guess what I was real impressed with when I got here was, the equipment was state-of-the-art for the day. The guns were, the knives were, the bazookas were, all the things that we used, right? I mean, all the equipment, all the tools were, they were the best of their day. And the interesting thing about the way that we've been as an agency is that we're okay to adapt while we're rooted in the history of what is this organization and what is our profession. We're not scared to go out and actually test and evaluate new technology that's going to make it better for our officers and better for our community. It was just very professional back then, and through Chief Thomas's tenure, she's kept that professionalism. I mean, understanding that was important to what we're trying to accomplish as a police mission. It's infectious. When you are led by somebody who is, when you're led by someone who that is extremely important to them, that we are ethical, we're moral in the way that we go about our business, there's accountability. When you have those things, your community can rest easy that their police department is doing the right things. I think there's 4 things that a potential police officer must possess when they come to work at this police department going forward. I think they have to have law enforcement intelligence. I think they have to have a good grasp of technology and equipment, because the changes in this area are coming fast and furious, and you have to be able to adapt to it. I think they have to have investigative curiosity and the ability to be good at their craft. And last, but certainly not least, they have to have a strong desire to make a difference, and a difference in this community. On behalf of Chief Thomas and the men and women at the Pinellas Park Police Department, I would like to thank you for spending time with us, learning about our past, our present, and where we're going in the future. This is your police department, and it is our community. Thank you.